Hey, this is David Plotz, CEO of CityCast. I have a favor to ask before we get to today's conversation. We're doing our annual listener survey, and it would really help us out if you took it. And even if you took it last year, we'd be grateful if you took it again, because we can't use last year's data. Please go to citycast.fm/survey to take the survey. It's only 7 minutes long, we know, because we timed it. That's citycast.fm/survey. And when you take the survey, you'll also be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and CityCast swag, that great CityCast swag. citycast.fm/survey.
I don't know about y'all, but I love learning new things, and the Newberry Library is a perfect place for your curiosity. Adult education has been a tradition at the Newberry since the 1890s. The classes are led by experts, and they're available in person and online. Take a writing workshop, study the history of flamenco, make your own book plate, and so much more. Register at newberry.org. Just click on Learn an Adult Education class to get started. Plus, enter promo code CityCast to get a 10% discount on your next class. That's CityCast, all one word. Today on CityCast Chicago. Just yesterday, I was talking about my mom's amazing home bar. I even posted a video of her making her classic sidecar on TikTok. And y'all, I'm gonna be real with you, it's kind of blowing up right now. That's because people from Chicago know a good basement bar is where it's at. But you know, I can't invite all y'all over. So I'm talking to Mama T about home bar tips and cocktails you can make in your basement. Or, you know, wherever you like to enjoy a cocktail. It's Wednesday, January 29th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago is talking about.
If I make another one, you'll drink half? I know. My brother called today, early this morning, but I missed it. Yeah, no, he called this morning. I missed him. And then Buki called me on my way.
I'm in the building with Teresa Farrell, a.k.a. Mama T, a.k.a. My Mama. Ma, this is your third time on the podcast. Welcome back to CityCast Chicago.
Thank you again for having me again.
First, you got to tell us a little bit about your Chicago basement bar. You got the classic wooden panels up, the mirror walls, and, you know, obviously the collection of bottles on the shelves. Tell me a little bit more about this bar. Did you build it yourself?
No, I did not build it myself. I just enhanced what was already there. And because of the nostalgic look, when I was changing things, that's the one thing I did not change, did not want to change.
Mm-hmm. When I posted the video, the comments started flooding in and people immediately were like, I didn't even need to check the location. I knew that was Chicago. They immediately had flashbacks of sitting down there with their granny. They immediately started calling you they mama and they auntie. All of us, including myself, we ain't got basement bars. I ain't even got no basement. I got a little bar cart. So if I'm trying to get on your level, I want to start building my own little pseudo Chicago basement bar. What are some essentials I need?
Well, it kind of depends on what your audience is going to be. I heard you say you don't even have a basement. So space, you know, trying to get where I am, you need a little space. But without that space, some of the smaller things, depending on what your audience is, what you like to drink, what other people like to drink. Sometimes juices are good because you'll use those for mixers. You might want to get a shaker. Do you want a plastic shaker? Do you want a stainless steel shaker? It depends. Plastic shakers are good if you're serving drinks over ice. Stainless steels are better if you're serving drinks that are not over ice, because when you put the ice in it with the stainless steel, it makes it and keeps it colder.
Mm-hmm.
You can use, just starting out, you can get a shot glass and use that as your quote unquote measuring cup. Everybody, you know, they want the little fancies. You don't really need that. You can just, you know, because at some point, by the time you get to drink number 4, how much are you really measuring? But a small shot glass is pretty good.
So out the gate, I don't need like ice molds, a fancy jigger, like a nice Japanese stirring spoon.
Those are great things, and I have those, but starting out, you don't need them.
The sheer amount of bottles that you have around your basement bar, do you have a rough estimate of how many there are?
Uh, Probably I could fill up a small liquor store.
The number of times people say, is that the liquor store? I thought it was the liquor store. I never seen somebody sit at the counter and make drinks at the liquor store. Okay, so what's a small liquor store? We talking like 200,
A little more,
300,
a little more.
400?
A little more, but we'll stop there.
Oh yeah, we gonna stop there. You have things that people can instantly recognizable that they might find at bars and speakeasies and restaurants around the city of Chicago, but you also got things that are very rare, things that, you know, maybe aren't often seen in liquor stores around Chicago. How and where do you source the number of bottles that you got?
Where? Anywhere. I go from Costco to Costa Rica. I've gone from the grocery store, Jewel, to a bourbon tour in Kentucky or Nashville. So where some people, you know, women in particular, they like jewelry. So when they go to New York, they're looking for jewelry and they're looking for handbags. And me, I'm looking for bourbons and I'm looking, you know, for spirits.
When did you start collecting? I know you don't use the word collection often because you drink things and you
Right.
replenish them, but when did you start collecting? When I think back to being a kid, you know, I might remember some daiquiris every now and then on La Boone's farm and a nice little a wine holder above the door with some plants hanging over it. But when did you start becoming more of a connoisseur?
I would say right before and going into COVID. And that's simply because I entertain. And during COVID, you couldn't go out much. You had to, you know, stay inside, and your circle of people was small. You couldn't do a lot of things. And so, one of the things I did during COVID was I made my house, you know, more comfortable, more inviting. Because I couldn't go anywhere, I needed to make sure that everything I needed, everything I wanted was there.
Hmm. And you always make sure you have things for other people, that you have things that other people like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I do a lot of entertaining. And so, do I drink out of every single bottle that I have? Probably not. Have I tasted it? Yes. Do I like it? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, my small circle, I make sure that I have and keep things that everybody else likes as well.
Mhm.
And then stuff that I can introduce them to, or things that, you know, I can tell them they like that they don't
Mhm.
know that they like yet.
Maybe introduce me to a couple of spirits that you like. One of the questions that kept coming up was people wanted to know if there were some black owned labels that you really enjoy.
There are a couple, and there are a couple bourbons. One is it's called Renard's, and then there's another one that's Alexander. Those are actually people that I know, and they are pretty good. Some, like there's a bourbon that I like, Happenstance. I can only get Happenstance in Tennessee. You can't
Mm.
get it anywhere else. So when I go to Nashville, I get 3 or 4 bottles because I'm not going to Nashville until next year. You know, but the Alexander and the Renards, those are the ones, Chicago people that are here.
All right, so let's start with some of your favorite recipes, and let's talk about a couple of your favorite cocktails to make. And let's go with the sidecar, which, you know, so many people were impressed with on the TikToks. If you like me, then you're trying to get out and explore all of Chicago's museums in 2025. So add the Claremont Collections Automotive Museum to your list now. Low Key is Chicago's only automotive museum where you can learn about everything from horseless carriages to modern muscle cars. Plus, the vehicles regularly rotate, so you get a unique experience with each visit. They're also open for school field trips, and they have a private event space that seats up to 200 people. I'm talking birthdays, weddings, quinceañeras, and other special events. So take advantage of that free parking. Make 2025 extraordinary with 50% off annual memberships throughout February. Visit Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and discover over 300 vintage and classic vehicles at Chicago's most spectacular automotive museum. Experience the magic of Claremont Collection's Automotive Museum whenever you want. Please don't let this opportunity slip away. Secure your discounted membership at ClaremontCollections.com today.
Well, that particular sidecar, I use Martell Blue Swift.
Which is a cognac.
It is a cognac. I also use, actually, I use 2 triple sec because I use Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier is a triple sec, but some people just drink it as just a liqueur. And so I use that, and then I use Cointreau, which is another triple sec. There's a splash of lemon juice, and then I top off my shaker with Simply pineapple juice. I use more Simply products than not because I just like them better. But you can also use Dole. Those are the 2 pineapple juices that make a good cocktail. And then you shake it. And again, I do a sugar rim, and I do that because the drink has a lot of sugar. It's the liqueurs are sugar. And you can do it without a sugar rim, but that's the one that was, the TikTok phenom.
I was going to ask, what are the things you do to make it a little extra fancy? It sounds like the sugar rim. And then do you finish off with any garnish?
I do. There are 2 garnishes that I use because the triple secs that I use have an orange finish on them. I use either dried oranges or I take I have decorative toothpicks and I put cherries on them and lay it across the top of the glass. Because with that, even though it's a cognac and it's a sidecar and you usually want to put it in a whiskey glass, depending on who's drinking it, I would like to put mine in a martini glass.
All right, so we talked about your sidecar. I know another one of your favorites is a Moscow Mule. How do you like it?
The Moscow Mule, I make a Moscow Mule and I make a Kentucky Mule. The Moscow Mule I like with Tito's. I have tried making this Moscow Mule and I can make it with tequila as well, but the regular Moscow Mule, I use vodka and I use Tito's. I have tried it with Belvedere. I have tried it with Grey Goose. I have tried it with Absolute. It does not taste that good unless you're using Tito's. So I use Tito's. I use a splash of lime juice, and I use a ginger beer. I usually use ginger beer in a bottle, not in a can, because it tastes a little different. I put those in the copper glasses, and I do that so that the drink stays cold. And then I garnish that with fresh mint.
That sounds so good. I don't typically drink no vodka.
Yeah. And a lot of people that don't drink vodka that I've had to the house and they don't like vodka, I substitute the vodka for tequila.
Well, let's go with a drink that you normally use tequila in. That's your blueberry lemonade.
Yes, I do Casamigos tequila because it's good for a mixer. I use Simply blueberry lemonade, and then I muddle fresh blueberries. And that becomes part of the inside of the drink more so than a garnish.
Now, if people want a cocktail that is easy and fast to make, what are some of your favorites?
This time of year, one of my favorites is a warm caramel apple.
Ooh.
And what I do with that is I use apple Crown Royal. I use Martinelli's apple juice and I heat it up. And then I take Ghirardelli's caramel and line the inside of my glass or my cup. I pour the warm apple crown and apple juice in it. And then I garnish that with sliced Granny Smith apples.
I love that I said easy and fast. And he was like, we are actually going to do lavish and impressive. That's what we're going to go with. The warm caramel apple, which the base ingredient.
I'll give you a faster one. How about peach Crown Royal and peach Simply lemonade?
Just 2 straight to the point.
Just 2 straight to the point.
And if you want to be fancy, because I know you got an option for it, what do you do?
I put peaches in it. Fresh peaches.
All right. So right now it's clear that you like a good whiskey. You like Crown. You've used the Crown Apple, the Crown Peach. Is there another Crown flavor that you like?
Blackberry Crown is good too if you got a slushy machine, especially if you got that Ninja slushy machine.
Hey, now if we talking about TikTok, I think this thing probably went viral in so many households. It sold out. When I went to buy my Christmas tree at Home Depot, I was eavesdropping on two of the individuals who worked there, and one of them was like, "I really want to get my mom this for Christmas, but it's sold out everywhere. I didn't try to get it online. I tried to get it in person." And I was like, "Yeah, my mom got it." So, all right, if we thinking about something that really impresses people, you've been knocking people out since around Thanksgiving with these slushies. What's your go-to? What's your go-to slushie?
Blackberry Crown Royal, Stella Rosa Blackberry Wine, Ginger Ale, and Muddled Blackberries.
So this video, as of right now, as the time when we were recording this, has been seen nearly 280,000 times, has almost 800 comments, and almost 60,000 likes. Some of the comments that I see the most are people immediately recognizing this as a Chicago basement, talking about how their parents or their grandparents have similar bars, and of course, asking if they can come over. The answer to that last one is hell no. But how does it feel knowing that this connected with so many people, especially in Chicago?
A little overwhelming right now. I because I was completely oblivious. I don't think I've processed it all the way, but hey, this is Chicago. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as early as I can remember, we have been in a house where all of our friends could come over, all of your friends come over, where our family felt comfortable. What does it mean to be the person in our family who's continuing that tradition that is the place we go for our holidays, for our kickbacks? And for me and you, we was just sitting there watching the playoffs. You was calling our Uncle Dink to basically laugh in his face that his Commanders had just lost. Like what? Like that's the kind of moments we make down there. What does it mean to have that basement bar, that classic Chicago basement bar, and be that place for so many people?
It's gratifying. Mm-hmm. It is. It's gratifying because I'm just being me. I'm just being my authentic self, and it's a place where other people can come and be their authentic selves, and we just have a good time. It's a family connection. It's our, family reunion for everybody. we get together, we just have a good time. And I'm glad that I can be that person in that place to do that.
Granny would be proud of you, and I know she is.
Thank you.
Y'all, that was Mama T. If you want to get these recipes, run this episode back. Get out your pen, your paper, your phone, write them down. Y'all, join me in thanking my mama for being here today. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Make sure you follow along with all CityCast Chicago has to offer by bookmarking our website, chicago.citycast.fm. Some good news. In the spirit of family, I want to use this good news to wish an extremely happy birthday to my brother, Bernard Farrell, and Taylor's mom, Adrienne Nazone. As always, we appreciate you for listening and reading. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace.